Hello and welcome back to W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. In today's episode, we'll be delving into our latest film on IMDb's bottom 100 list, welcoming a new special guest. So for any new listeners, my name's Daisy, and as always, I'm joined by my podcast co-creator and co-host Claire over in Ireland. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm fine. I continue to have not really seen any of Ireland. Yay COVID.
There's nothing like moving to a new country and then sitting in someone else's house and not being able to see any of it.
Yep.
But you know, we've got Christmas on the way at the time of recording, so hopefully we can have a nice Christmas break and enjoy being inside.
Daisy, I really don't like that you said that, because when I edit these, it's usually weeks later. Every time we talk about the future, whatever we say, the worst option of it happens.
Oh, is this some sort of like am I some sort of psychic, but like really of the worst kind?
Me too. Like I've definitely done it as
commenting on what's actually, you know, what I'm seeing on
we're just too
my
hopeful.
news source, aka Twitter.
We're too hopeful about the world.
Well, it's actually quite funny you say that, because it kind of goes with the theme of today's episode, things being a bit disastrous. So before we kick that off, of course, as we mentioned, we've got a special guest. So today we have joining us Nicolas Cage connoisseur and host of Caged In podcast, Petros. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me to the bottom of the barrel to talk about possibly the most
welcome to our home.
The most bottom of the barrel film that there possibly could be. I'm excited and
yeah, it really is, isn't it? This one is. We're very excited to announce that this is the number one on the bottom 100. I don't know if any listeners know this off the top of their head, or it was a piece of trivia that they carry around in their head what number one is. Most people know what number one is in the top 250, but Petros, as you have chosen the film today to come on and speak about, would you like to tell us what it is and why you've decided to join us to talk about it today?
It's disaster movie, of course, which is the reason I wanted to talk about it is I kind of like, as much as I kind of hate them, I love disaster movies in a way. Like, I don't want to tell you like some of my favourites, because that would be spoiling some things. But at the same time, like it's like watching a car crash and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that very like if you're like rubbernecking on a motorway, it's kind of like you feel dirty inside. Whereas if you're watching like buildings being destroyed in CGI, it's like, oh, that's great. Like, these actors probably had fun, like watching Jake Gyllenhaal like deal with the frozen earth or whatever, or kind of watching Pierce Brosnan or Tommy. And I love the fact that disaster movies always come in these weird pairs. Like there's there's the Deep Impact Armageddon thing. It's like the social consciousness of like what is kind of irking people, or the communal fears we have as a global world.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah.
They kind of go, put two studios at the same point, go, get an asteroid movie.
It's like they look at each other and race to their prospective studios so you can get there quicker. I love how you've described disaster movies as cinematic rubbernecking.
Yeah, that's definitely what they are, right?
I love it. Yeah, I think that's how they should be described. Claire, disaster movie, 2008. Did you have any relationship with it at all? Did you go see it in the cinema, or was this a first watch for you?
First watch for me. I don't think I'm sure I did know it existed, but there's so bloody many of these that I probably didn't know it existed at the same time. I think like I, in my brain, thought like disaster movie, epic movie, and at least one other one were all one film.
Was it Meet the Spartans that you thought was the same? Because I thought, because they both came out the same year.
I don't really. I did look, and we can get to it later, but I know what I was watching at the cinema instead of this when it came out, which we can get to later.
That should be a new segment. What did we watch instead of this pile of shit?
I put that segment in every week anyway.
That's true.
It's my favourite tangent. Yeah, no relationship whatsoever. And when we were organising this episode, I kind of looked at it and I was like, wait, number one? We're doing number one? What? After our little run, after our run of films that aren't even on the list anymore, we then went, right, to make up for it, we'll go the complete opposite direction.
Pure chaos at this point, isn't it? Yeah. The schedule of this podcast.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before, and like you, I kind of like ended up piling them all up in one category in like one recess of my mind. I don't think I've ever seen in any of these parody films in cinema. But I must admit, I was very excited to watch this one, given it was number one. It's got a lot to live up to. Being number one, it's got a really, really solid 1.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Mm-hmm. Wonderful, chef's kiss. And for anyone that doesn't know, essentially, disaster movie 2008. It's a parody of the disaster film genre, and of course, most importantly, a parody of just anything that's in pop culture at the time.
Any movie trailer that Friedberg and Seltzer just happened to watch that year.
Yeah, and emphasis on the trailer aspect of that, not what film they watched, what trailer they watched.
I've got a real big problem with the fact that this is called Disaster Movie, because
honestly,
it doesn't deal with the tropes of a disaster movie at all. Like,
not at all.
I often look at like spoof movie. Like, I think what makes a good spoof movie is like making fun of the traits of them. So even if you look at like Scary Movie, like where. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, these two cretins, I will call them that, the creators, the two of the six writers, as they that annoys me as well. That
they needed so many people to come up with this shit.
Well, no. That obviously they are two of the six writers on Scary Movie, but all of these films, I watch like the trailers for kind of. I end up watching some YouTube videos like, who are these guys, basically? Mm-hmm. And they use that sting on all of their trailers as if it's like some kind of witty badge of honour. Like, aren't we funny? We're poking fun at the fact that we're the bottom rung of the ladder of this team of six writers on Scary Movie. But what that does, right, is it obviously like, it follows the beats of a Scary Movie and then makes fun of the traits, or I guess for a lot of people, the best kind of spoof movie of all time is Airplane, which like is, if you take out the jokes, is the film that is aping completely. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like this film like doesn't do that. As you said, it's just kind of like you feel like you're flicking TV channels.
Yeah. Oh my god,
yeah, and it's like, oh, I hate this.
It's just like next to the so disjointed. It's just like onto the next. You know, like in dreams where you're like, how did I get here? Mm-hmm. And then I was on a plane.
And don't insult your dreams, Daisy.
I've just revealed the real caliber of my dream situation. But it's like, how did I get here? And then that person was there, and then that happened, and it just seems to just go in this sort of like whirling down a plug hole of just fever dream randomness.
I bring it back to Scary Movie every time we do one of these parody movies, because Scary Movie is a good parody movie, and it's like these guys learn all of the mistakes. They saw it did well and took everything that wasn't what made it good and have carried that over and forgotten the good things, because like you just said about Airplane, which as we've discussed before I've still never seen, but Scary Movie is almost beat for beat Scream, but with lots of different things in and lots of silly humour and lots of jokes, but the narrative structure is Scream. And we said that was some of the good thing about Date Movie, but some of the bad things about Date Movie. I know, Daisy, you absolutely hated Vampires Suck, but I at least liked it because it had the plot structure of Twilight. Whereas this, what was the plot structure?
What's a narrative? What's a plot?
Yeah, honestly. It's like, who is our main character? He's just like a random dude.
Yeah, it's a get from point A to point B movie, which I guess like disaster movies do in some regard, but then like the MacGuffin in this is not something that would be like, I don't know, you take like the whole plot of Armageddon, for instance, like it is, they've got to go to this asteroid and destroy it from the inside out so it doesn't collide with Earth, and it's like, oh, that like that is the end goal. Whereas this, the like MacGuffin is totally unknown until we get to the reveal, which is like, oh, so it's not a disaster movie. It's all of a sudden some kind of like paranormal, like kind of like action adventure movie that you're parodying here. Like, I don't quite get it.
The disaster movie was never, because they're getting from A to B, which is in most disaster movies, because normally they're trying to get away from the disaster or reunite with family or something. But like in this, none of the things that held them up during said disaster was the disaster. Apart from, and like spoilers ahead, apart from Kim Kardashian's character who was killed by an asteroid, none of our other characters are killed by anything to do with the disaster. They're not held up by any. They're getting a fight with Sex and the City girls. They're attacked by Alvin and the Chipmunks. And the enchanted girl like has a little like beatboxing fight or something with one of them. The asteroids and the explosions just aren't in the film.
Yeah. It's as if they've just gone, okay, we need something to call this random collection of things, and we need them to have a reason to be travelling of some kind so that they can get through the different scenarios.
What baffles me loads is the working title for this film was Goody Two Shoes, which makes
a lot of sense.
But it's like what film did those guys sign on for? It's surely if you're working with those two guys, you know you're going to be in this like mass and like obviously like day one on set, it's like, oh, we've got a guy dressed up as Batman. We've got Ike Barinholtz dressed up as Batman or Beowulf. Like, this is clearly one of these like cheap knockoffs like spoof movies.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I read on IMDb's trivia that, or is it Wikipedia, that actually, not that that should be an official source, I apologise, but listen, we're not paid to do this, so I have not cited official sources until I get paid for my researching time. Wikipedia it is. Basically, they wrote the film as a parody of Superbad. And apparently, I don't know, please, if you're listening, you know any different, they only changed the title from Goody Two Shoes to Disaster Movie once they'd finished filming. So they clearly had no intent and purpose to make this a disaster movie parody. They just had it as a vehicle of random shit.
It's also in no way a Superbad parody, apart from the one scene where they literally parody Superbad. There's nothing else Superbad in it.
I think what happened is they planned to do that, had all this other random shit in, probably tried to cobble it together and it didn't make sense. And they've gone, let's just kind of go more down this angle, have the Superbad parody for one scene and be done with it. I don't know. It's just so random. It's so random. I think my overall sort of reaction to it, which is interesting because how viscerally I detested Vampire Suck at the time. Now I'm starting to rethink my hatred for that because at least
it had a plot.
At least it had a plot and it was a coherent narrative, because I, in some ways, like Vampire Suck more because I had an actual reaction to it. This, I was so indifferent to what was happening in front of me and I checked out, like, mentally disconnected that I was like, is this even media? Not is this a film? Is this content? Is this media? Or am I just hallucinating? Because it makes no sense. Nothing's...
And that's how it feels like the lowest praise in the world to be like, well, Vampire Suck had a plot because they literally stole it from another film. Yeah. But like, it's a parody movie. That is literally all these guys had to do. They just had to plagiarise a different film and they failed at the first step.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for the production of these things, because you think about the blood, sweat and tears and money and passion that goes into even people making some of the films that are also on this list. Like, a lot of the films that are on this list, people do believe in. You know, The Room's on there. Like, there's a film made about the making of The Room. And then you get films like this, which get millions and millions of dollars thrown at them. And you're like, I just would love to know how it's discussed. Is it taken seriously as like, or are they all laughing at the fact that they can just do the bare minimum and it's gonna make a ton of money. Like I
They're
just would
all
love to know.
high off their own jokes. Like we said that about Dance Flick, didn't we? There's just a bunch of men in a room and they take a joke too far, and it's like in the whole inside joke thing. If you're on the outside looking in, you're like, "What the fuck are they all laughing? Like, what have I missed?" And that's what their entire film franchise has become: a bunch of inside jokes that no one else understands.
Yeah, I think it is a case of nobody telling like Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer no, and like I think like this from looking is like their lowest like performing film, not just like critically, but like box office wise as well. I think like, but still washed its face a little bit. What it's made for it grossed nearly 35 million on a $20 million budget, but like I just don't. This is one of those films that is baffling to me. That obviously, for a film to get made, like there's all of these markers in the way for it to be shown to human beings, and obviously, like I question the people in the film. Do you know what I mean? Like Matt Lanter and G Fang, as his name is, like. And
Matt Lanter's a frequent offender, I've discovered. I know Matt Lanter from 90210, and when he first turned up on our list, I was like, oh, I loved him in 90210.
And he voices Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, we were like just so praising of Matt Lanter. We were like, oh, bless him. He obviously just stumbled into this, needed a paycheck. And now I'm like, no, you're a frequent offender. I wasn't planning to rewatch 90210 anyway, but now I don't think I can. I spent too many years brooding over his character, and now I'm like, ew, no, you are detestable.
Well, all I could think about when looking at him was he looks like a mixture of like Chad Michael Murray and Breckin Meyer. He looks like those two have like, melded together. Because I was like, oh yeah, like he looks just like the guy from Rat Race. And the name Matt Lanter as well sounds like a really low rent white rapper as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like Atlanta.
Yeah, right. Matt Lanter. Do you know what I mean? And like proper like white boy rap.
Oh my god, I've never.
Yeah, I thought it was a stage name. I thought, and I think I've written it down as like the Atlanta spelling, but it's ER. But yeah, like Matt Atlanta. Like, I just have, and that's the thing. There are people who've gone on, like Ike Barinholtz has gone on to do like some good stuff. Like he's in Cock
great
Blockers,
in
right?
like Neighbours.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Blockers. Yeah. He's a really great comedian. And to be honest, if I'm going to praise anything about this film, which I'm not going to, but if I did, he would probably be the only person that I would be interested. Okay, I'm not going to praise it. I'm going to say he's the only person I'd be interested in seeing on my screen throughout that whole thing. If I could watch his scenes again, I'd be like, fine. Whatever. I don't like it, but it doesn't offend me in my eyes as much as the rest of the incoherent mess that was the rest of this film.
I feel like there's like 3 of the cast members who should know better. So it's Ike Barinholtz, Nicole, it's Krista Flanagan who plays the like Juno spoof, who like that feels like they've just heard her do, like, and who's the other? Nicole Parker all come from Mad TV, which is like somewhat like an American like sketch comedy show.
And like SNL.
Yeah, and it's like you guys should know better. Like the alumni on that show is like Andy Dick and Keegan Michael Key. So it's like good people have come from that. Like this should be in your bones to do this, but it's obviously the material they have to work with. It's just the absolute dross.
The whole film felt like the worst outtakes of any episode of SNL you've ever seen. It was just bad sketch after bad sketch after bad sketch with no coherent flow through it. And they were like rejects of rejects. You know, there wasn't...
I think that hangs on your idea, Claire, of this whole it being an inside joke thing, though, because that's I kind of get that vibe from what SNL's kind of turning into now, because they don't really seem to be very like biting satire or commentary anymore. It just feels like who's the most famous person we could get and have a few laughs with, and it's a bonus if they're a musician as well because we can just double book them.
I mean, I do,
and then
the Taylor Swift rap song was.
I don't really watch it, but I catch bits on Twitter that that have been shared and stuff. But that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from that now. It's not about the comedy; it's about the celebrity. So I wonder if that's and that obviously goes to show as well, as we mentioned earlier, it's not really a parody of disaster movies. It's a parody of how much pop culture can we fit into a film.
Mm-hmm.
But it always has this they try and stay ahead of the curve by being super, super relevant, by literally parodying what they think are going to be a film is about from their trailer, so that they can get it out in time to be parodying the films that's also out of the cinema. But I don't know about you, because I obviously I didn't see it in the cinema, and I've got the like what else was out at the time, but it's hard to completely tell without going proper in depth whether they would still even be relevant, or they're still always going to be a little bit behind. And because by the time they come out, they're riffing off of the trailer of something when people have gone, but I've seen the actual film now, and that's not even what it's about, kind of
I
thing.
think the only thing is, back in 2007, it was like the real boom of the DVD market, and we were still in a place where it was taking like 4 or 6 months for DVDs to come out. So like films like Superbad and Juno all had second wins when they went to home media. So even if in the film they were no longer relevant because they weren't in the cinema anymore, if they had timed it right, who knows if they did or didn't, when they all came out on DVD, anyone like me who was a student, we all trotted down to HMV, and we were all like going through whatever DVDs were £5, and we'd all buy a different one, and then we'd trade them. Like we'd have
wonder then
movie night
actually
at everyone's house.
More a case of a numbers game of okay, whatever's come out and whatever will be coming out at the time, if we just hit them all off, something's gonna land, something's gonna be relevant. But my original point was the fact that they more so in this than I think any of the ones that we've seen so far, Claire, because what is this, our fourth parody from them now?
Yeah, I don't know if they are all from them that we've done, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've done 4
Dance,
parodies.
Flick, Date, Movie, and Vampire Suck.
Dance Flick wasn't these guys.
Oh, was it not?
No.
I thought it was.
Anyway. I think it was like linked.
Oh no, you're right.
Them.
It was the Wayans brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just in terms of parody stuff, this feels like the most celebrity focused and less film focused of the ones that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and it was like at the time, and I've spoken about it on other episodes, like the whole Perez Hilton culture of that time period, and this feels like someone just basically went through Perez Hilton and went through like...
One of the things I was going to say is obviously that thing of trying to parody stuff that is relevant. You're playing a real gamble of how your film is going to age, because there's a lot of this that has aged like bad wine. It's vinegar. Do you know what I mean? They're like, they're parodying stuff like Hancock, which like, well, I say parodying, they just lift things like basically wholesale riffs from that. It's like, oh, Hancock is a drunk superhero. So what do? Have a kid swear at him. He flies up, hits a lamppost, and then falls back on the bench. It's like, I'm pretty sure in Hancock, something very similar happens in that film. So it's not even a thing of parodying. It is literally like showing you IP and going like, aren't we clever? Aren't we clever? And it's an interesting time to be talking about that, because obviously like that is what like a lot of like film people are kind of have a problem with stuff like the MCU and like anything that's a kind of collected universe. It's like, oh, they're just kind of post-credit scenes dangling a carrot of this other character, or another character will come in for a scene and stuff like that, and going, oh, that's horrible. That's like the corporatization of movies.
Yeah, they're not actually doing anything. It's just the dopamine. It's like a dopamine hit of going, oh, I recognise that. And that's what they were doing way back in the day with these.
And it's like if those people like are so, I don't know, het up about the MCU and stuff like that, it's like, if you really want to have something angry, you want something to be really angry about, it's like, go watch Disaster Movie and see how that is done badly. Of just like, this is supposed to be something poking fun at, one, the tropes of disaster movies, it doesn't do, and two, like the things that it does poke fun out of, doesn't really poke fun out of them at all. It just goes, hey, look, there's the two guys from Superbad going like, oh, I'm loving, because we can't say McLovin because we don't want to like. Do you know what I mean? Like we can't, we got someone singing a JT song going like, I'm gonna sing a melody, but it's not quite the same as a JT song. Like, because it's like, it just feels like, I don't. It's like the Audi of filmmaking, right? It's like
no, it's worse. It's like going down the market and getting the fake designer stuff. Where it's like, it looks like the Gucci logo, but it's not.
I only say Audi because it's like that thing of like, it's like the writers and the kind of legal department are sat next to each other going like,
oh yeah, what can we get away with?
How close can we get like parodying this song without
You're
actually
right.
like, and it's not fun. That is the thing. These films, like, when they're at their best, are fun, and you kind of they're hung on like a decent-ish plot, and that's the thing. If even if the plot's a bit shit, if your film is fun, then it's fun. Do you know what I mean? You can get away with being a bit shit. Whereas this is just a barrage, and like I just found myself just writing down the references in this a lot of the time, and just kind of going, "What the fuck is going on?"
I got even bored of doing that, and one of the things that like I found myself as well is who was actually the audience this was aimed at.
We always bring up with these,
the people that will understand the High School Musical, the Hannah Montana, maybe even the Superbad references. Will they have seen There Will Be Blood? I know that's pigeonholing a lot of people, because I'm sure there are hundreds of people out there who have both seen all the High School Musical films.
But then they
and
have to be the people that go to see this film as well. So
it felt like,
where does it cross over? It doesn't.
It felt like rather than because I don't know, I don't see that many people that will go out to a high art film like There Will Be Blood also then wanting to go to low art disaster movie. And not that we can really place a label on what is art and what isn't. I've learnt my lesson on that one this week. But like, it just, rather than focusing on one audience type, which should have been, as we've said at the top of the episode, fans of disaster movies, they're like, we are going to have something for everyone.
But even if it's not just them, it's anyone who's seen one can go and be like, oh yeah, that's like in Armageddon, or oh yeah, that's like in Day After Tomorrow. People will recognise it because most people have been to a cinema and like watching films recreationally. And the whole point of what we were saying about going on the tropes of the genre itself, not just specific films, everyone's going to recognise it, even if they haven't necessarily seen that film that we know that you're referencing. So
on the point of like going with the trope angle of it, it's like, tropes are there for a reason. And even if you watch like a bona fide disaster movie, there are moments like they all kind of follow a similar pattern. They'll be like, there is no like scientist in this who kind of comes out like with like a load. Yeah. That's real, like, I don't know, easy pickings to get jokes out of that, of just like, I don't know, somebody like over explaining it and kind of trying to make sense of it all, and then like that going awry or something. Like I definitely give me an afternoon, and I think I could write a better spoof of a disaster movie.
Because I don't even think you'd need an afternoon, mate. I think you've got this couple of minutes.
Well, yeah, like and I recently went to the cinema and saw the trailer for the new Roland Emmerich film, who is obviously like a kind of serial offender when it comes to disaster movies.
Yeah,
and his newest film is Moonfall. I'm not sure if you've seen any of them.
Oh, yes, I did see the trailer for that, and I thought, how is this a real film that's been funded?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The disaster movies themselves are preposterous and insane. So it's like, just kind of lean into that aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
And just take the piss out of it. Like, take the piss out of how like jingoistic they could be. Like, a lot of them is like, oh, like the world is in crisis, but all that really matters is American soil. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, there's jokes to be made about that. There's jokes to be made about, I don't know, all sorts.
It's like looking at what's there for the picking, what's ripe for the picking, and with all of these genres of films, like, there's so much, because that's why they're genres, because they have certain tropes that, as you say, aren't necessarily a bad thing. They're there to, they're there for a reason. They're storytelling techniques. They make people feel comfortable. They're shortcuts to help tell stories. But yeah, when you see them over and over again, it gets boring. So why not take some fun out of them while also loving their source material, or saying we need to elevate the source material beyond this now, so we're going to have a bit of fun with it. These people make these films. I don't actually think they like films. I think they hate the medium of film, and this is the way that they punish other people.
They also as I learned, they absolutely hate anyone who isn't a straight white man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just this one of the worst of the offenders of what we've watched so far. This one made Date Movie look inoffensive.
Yeah, I think I can't even, I couldn't even retain it in my memory at this
But
point.
that's sort of the problem, though, that I found with it, because at one point earlier today when I was thinking about recording this episode, I was like, do you know what? I didn't find it that offensive. And then my brain literally went, what about this, and this? And because there's so much offensiveness, but it is all offhanded, flippant, one-off jokes, and the whole
It's like
movie
subliminal, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole movie is just now this thing, now this thing, now this thing. Your brain can't hold on to the offence because there's just another thing 10 seconds later that's going to be stupid or annoying or offensive that you just kind of forget that it's offensive at all, because it's like kind of, like subversive, or like, I think I couldn't remember the word for it when I wrote my notes. I can't remember the word for it now. But I feel like I've been like acclimatized to these films now, that they don't even bother me as much. I feel like I've just,
because I knew what to expect going in.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, I've not even written a page of notes for this one, because I'm like, when we first started doing these parodies, I was writing down every little sort of reference and thing, blah blah blah. But because they're just all so similar in what they do and achieve, it's more just a case of, okay, well, this is just same thing, slightly different looking ingredients. Like,
and they're even reusing the same cast now, so it literally does feel like the same thing.
Although we did have a certain Kardashian within our cast for this one. What was everyone's thoughts about her turning up?
I didn't actually think she was that bad.
I didn't. I quite enjoyed her presence there.
I think if she was in any other film, she'd be awful. But I think the caliber, like, it's not even that the other people are bad actors, but the level of acting they're being asked to give in this film is so low that I feel like she just filtered right in. She didn't, her bad acting or mediocre acting, whatever we want to call it, felt completely on par with every other actor on the stage.
Yeah, when she's like up at like what she's against Vanessa Leahy, who again like so I bought the DVD for this, which like
amazing.
I
salute you.
I've since found out that I got stiffed because I didn't get the unrated edition. I've just got the 12 edition. But I delved into the like DVD extras, and like again, I think they're trying to.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
they're trying to be funny, and like, you know, when it comes up with like who the person is and kind of like credits underneath or something like that.
Yeah.
Hers literally just lists like lads mags. So it's like Maxim, like she's been on the cover and stuff like that.
No.
So when you've got like Kim Kardashian up against like her, or even like, I don't know, like, I'm just going to call him G-Fang, even though his name's Gary Johnson. I really feel like that is a name that needs a bit of zhuzhing, doesn't it? Gary Johnson, right? So, yeah, we've got Matt Lanter and G-Fang up in the house. But, like...
Amazing.
That, like, yeah, she would be, like, I don't know, I think Kim Kardashian could work, this is going to sound really weird, could work either in this, where she doesn't really have to do anything and kind of, like, can... melt into the kind of averageness of it all.
Yeah.
Or I think she'd really work in a Safdie brothers film where they kind of...
Oh my god, I was just thinking that!
Understand the level of like who she is and what she is.
I was thinking Uncut Gems for some really random reason.
Yeah, you could see her. You could, I don't know, or I don't know.
Why? I don't know.
As someone who has watched every single episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and also may have done so, I'm not a fangirl, but there's been times where I came close. That's wrong because they're not the best people. But the show's addictive. You have way overthought. If you think she could, there's no way she could ever be in any film like that.
No, but I think I don't know
she
why
can't even look stressed in her own reality TV show, guys.
I think it's just the absurdity in a high art way of a Safdie brothers film.
Yeah,
that she I don't know, it would just work. I don't know why. And the only reason I don't know why I was thinking it. And as soon as you said it, I was like, is this a joke? Because I don't know why I was thinking it.
She's dating Pete Davidson now, and I do think Pete Davidson would actually be amazing in a Safdie Brothers film.
Yeah.
So she could just play his weird, like, posy girlfriend.
Matrix right now. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian just.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I can imagine that being a really stressful, like whatever it is, it'll be stressful because it's a Safdie Brothers. Yeah. But yeah, throw Kim Kardashian in the middle of it because it would be.
Just put her under stress, and that's one of some of the most interesting dramatic episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So maybe it would work, Claire.
You could just
get her handbag out. Stop being so rude.
Give her the role that The Weeknd did in Uncut Gems, and maybe she'd be fine.
There we go. See,
we found her. I'm on board. You've brought me on board, guys.
If you're listening, get involved. Yeah, but no, I think you're right. The way she melted into like just the sheer crapness of everything else was good. But I felt a little bit bad for her because you could see how like nervous she was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was
the
really
whole time.
As someone who again may or may not be a Kardashians fan, but she doesn't dance. She outright like refuses to dance, and then she did the High School Musical number, and you can tell she's really uncomfortable, and they don't use a lot of her footage. But I was like, good for her. It seems like she did take the job seriously. It seems like she wanted to make an effort and do a good job, and it was the only time she'd ever acted. So I was like, you know what? I've seen a lot of awkward singers being in movies that have been atrocious. I didn't think she was the worst offender in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, she does get like, that's the thing. I think a lot of this comes down to the script and what these people are like. It's one of those things.
There was a script.
If somebody or like the lines they're fed on the day, like obviously Kim Kardashian has aspirations to become a lawyer, and it's like if somebody like says to her like, "Hey, remember that time you referred to Amy Winehouse as like a crackhead whore in that film you were in?" It's like, now the defense with your case. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how can you kind of? I don't know. Is that thing like I don't want to? Yeah, it's like how like really.
It's an interesting trajectory, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like I don't know. It feels like I've written in my notes like what a shame to the patron saint of Camden. Do you know what I mean? Like that really upset me.
It's just like a low blow, isn't it? It's just like I don't know. It's just I feel that was low even for these guys, to be honest. But
like because this would have been kind of the height. Well, like a year after, kind of, especially since watching like something like Asif Kapadia's Amy, and the kind of like when they like kind of pull the camera back and kind of like a mirror up to all of us and go like, oh, remember that time you laughed at all those jokes on 8 out of 10 Cats or kind of all the panel shows and stuff like that, and it's like this is just kindling onto that fire of kind of and it's like, did you guys really have to do that? Because that's the thing, and what it all comes back to is I don't know. I know there's like an argument within comedy of like it's all fair game if it's funny, like do you know what I mean? And there's people who hold that opinion. But this ain't funny.
Well, I don't know if you guys would have like picked it up if you're not aware of them, but is it Vanessa Minnillo who played the love interest? She's now Vanessa Lachey. She is married to Jessica Simpson's ex-husband Nick Lachey, and they have her in the film. Like in the film, they are taking the piss out of Jessica Simpson on multiple occasions. She's in those scenes. And I don't remember because it was years ago. I don't remember if Nick Lachey left Jessica Simpson for her or if it's just that they got together very quickly afterwards.
Right. But and was it around this time? Or was
so that's a very personal dig. And then there's also a joke, which we were all making the jokes at the time, and it's awful. Like there's a joke about Jessica Simpson where like she's being all sexy and she's like, Dad, stop filming. And like she has now come out as like a sexual abuse survivor. I don't think it was her dad, but I do think it was someone close to the family. And it's like she was then over-sexualized in the media, and then she had jokes literally taking the piss out of the fact that, oh my god, your dad wants to sexually abuse you. Like that's fucking awful. And then to know that she was going through that in her personal life, like society has a lot to answer for, and these films kind of showcase the worst of that celeb culture.
Yeah, well, and they kind of they highlight the worst in. Well, they expect the worst in their audience as well.
Yeah.
Like the jokes they
That's a
make,
really
like
good way of putting it. Yeah.
the like even the reveal of like the father figure of Matt Lanter's character being like a person of color and also a dwarf. Like it's like you're expecting us to laugh, not just like, do you know what I mean? Not just at the fact that, like, I don't. It's really getting to like people's basest, most horrible sides of themselves. Where it's like, oh, laugh at the fact that he's a dwarf and he's black.
Yeah. It's like if you get them to explain the jokes,
But
like,
it's the same joke they did in Date Movie
yeah.
2 years or 4 years prior. So it's not only offensive, it's also fucking lazy because you already made this bad and tasteless joke 4 years ago.
It's like if you turned around to them and went, "Can you go through this film and explain why these things are funny?" And they went, "Oh, the answer to all of them would be because they are not a straight white man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's, yeah.
Well, it's
It's because they are different to us. That's why it's funny.
the whole Sex and the
Yeah.
City thing. Like,
Oh,
I don't think
Oh
it
my
is.
god, Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a man! Aren't we fucking hilarious and
Yeah.
original? Sarah Jessica Parker's stunning. Yeah, she does look a bit different. She isn't like, I don't even know what classic hot would even be considered. But I'm sorry, if I look like Sarah Jessica Parker, I'd be bloody happy. But no, oh my god, she has a bit like defined features, so we'll get a man in drag to play her and it'll be hilarious.
It felt transphobic. It felt weirdly
Oh, yeah,
transphobic.
massively.
Like, and this film,
massively.
I think this film kind of, I don't know, it felt like they had post-it notes on their wall when they were writing this with kind of like all of the like ists or
Oh, yeah, all of the
icks out
isms.
there, and like let's tick them off. Do you know what I mean? We got transphobia. Let's get that involved. And like one of the kind of like, and the thing is, not only do they like do these jokes, they're kind of linchpins, and they like some of like, so there's that like whole thing about Beowulf being gay, and like
Oh, yeah.
the main character's going, yeah, that's gay, man. Like, ask anyone, that's gay. And then it's like, oh right, they're just going to drop that, and then all the way throughout their fight, and it's like, I'm going to go to get tickets to see Madonna with my friend and like stuff like that, and like everything's like, we're going to go do pottery and stuff like that, and it's like, that is like,
That sounds like a great day.
yeah, that sounds wicked. Like, do you know what I mean? I love making pottery. Like, Madonna, yes, please. Like, and I say that as a straight white man. Like, even like I don't know, and I don't like. There's so much of this that kind of really got my back up. Like one of them, like I'm not the biggest Juno fan in the world, but I really love the Moldy Peaches, and that like moment where they kind of ape the Moldy Peaches song and like sing that song about abortion, basically, like kind of in the style of the Moldy Peaches. What is it? Well, I'm trying to think of the title. Yeah. And it's like that is like, I was like, oh, this is going to be this is going to be a passing joke. Juno was a big thing. It's like, oh no, Juno is one of the four. Like that character is one of the four main characters.
Is there anyone in the world that ever went, I would really love to know what Juno would do in a disaster? No. As someone who still adores Juno, and it's still one of my favourite films, I have no interest in ever knowing what Juno would be doing in a disaster movie or anything similar. And every joke is stretched to the point of past breaking. Like the Hannah Montana joke, I laughed at the first one. The first one where, so Hannah Montana is killed, and then she's like, oh, like, but you can buy my line at this thing. And I was like, huh, yeah, funny. Like, always about the sale.
I think I fell
and then
asleep.
they do it 9 more times. And even the actors are like, oh yeah, this is so boring. And it's like, yeah, think about your fucking audience. This is like desperate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've forgotten half of this film.
Honestly,
I
could feel this film like leaving my brain as
soon as it came in,
as I was watching it, and it's that I'm so glad. Like, I kind of put off watching it until like the last moment. I'm like, if I had watched it yesterday, like
I watched it on Thursday. I had no hope. It was almost a week ago.
I've watched 10 more films since I watched this, but I still, unfortunately, it wormed its way in.
I tell you what I did remember though. Something I did enjoy when it initially was revealed as the joke, I gave a little chuckle, but then obviously it went on for like another 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So was the chipmunks turning evil and rabid.
Yeah.
It did make myself chuckle a little bit because I love puppets, so
Yeah.
I really liked the special effects work on whether they were animatronic or puppets. And when they did look quite terrifying, and I gave myself a little. And as someone a massive Gremlins fan as well, I felt like it just gave me that sort of vibe of that evil kind of
Spike.
mischievous. But then obviously it went on for about 500 hours. So
And like,
by that point,
why in a disaster movie is the biggest villain an animatronic chipmunk? Like,
Can we clip
sorry,
that?
what?
Can we clip that for the episode trailer?
I only laughed at one joke in this film, and it's kind of by osmosis because it reminded me of something else that was funny.
Something else that's actually funny.
Yeah, and it was and it definitely was, despite my better judgment, was the long butt crack gag, and it was just because at the moment there's a picture of
John Lennon
and Yoko Ono, which is photoshopped, but like it's like John Lennon's got a really long bum crack and Yoko Ono's got a tiny weeny little bum crack, and I just thought it made me think of that, and like the fact, just the visual of like the bum crack going up the back, and it's like one of the only jokes that is at expense of a white straight male. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
It's very interesting that you said that, because when we get to our letterboxd reviews later, one of the reviews I found was like, these films were memes before memes were a thing. They were like, they're the memes of the early ages. So it's so funny that the only thing that made you laugh was what made you think about a meme.
So people were desperate for memes, but they didn't know what memes were yet. And
so they made a whole film full of tiny memes.
These crumbs,
scattered memes throughout a film.
Yeah, this is shit posting the movie, right?
It really, really is.
4chan the movie.
Oh,
basically, isn't it?
No, I was going to say, Daisy, what we didn't comment about, probably because you've already forgotten it, myself and Daisy aren't fan of the toilet humour. There was a shit joke within less than 2 minutes of the movie starting.
A different one.
It was the very first. I checked the time code. It was less than 2 minutes in. There was a shit joke. I was like, "Wow, I think he's really fell into it." But I was like, "Wow, we are starting strong. We just know what we're doing, and just get on."
I was thinking of when he brings his G-Thang brings his shoe to his ear, his trainer to his ear, and it's got dog poo on it.
That was horrible.
All over his face, and then he just rubs it in. And I mean, to be honest, my stomach was pretty solid after just watching The Human Centipede 2, so I could handle that. Usually, I would have gagged at that, and it just went on for so long again. Why? Realistically, guys, how long do we think this film would be if they just, kept the pace going with these jokes? Because I
30
think
minutes.
I think you could actually get a few more laughs out of me if you actually kept it going, because I think just by momentum you might catch me off guard with something, but because I'm literally like sinking in my seat, like hearing this Amy Winehouse joke go on for about half an hour, like I've got nothing left.
I think when you shave off the credits, this is 72 minutes long. And it's like, if you actually got a proper editor to edit this down, it is half hour long. Like,
though, what I will say, I do feel like we do have to give a tiny bit of credit to the editors, because imagine trying to make a narrative out of any of this shit. Like, true. They didn't do a great job, but you have to wonder, what were they even working with, especially if they didn't change the name and it wasn't meant to be about a disaster until after, like, it was in post-production. I feel sorry for those editors. They didn't do a great job, but you have to wonder, what were they
just given? Looking up actually who they are and see.
Give them their proper dues. Like, well, they're so, like, I'm just that, like, toilet humour, I'm not, like, just kind of bodily functions I find a bit, like, slightly repulsive, and especially ones that aren't correct. And I think one of them, and I accidentally had to watch it twice, because, like, shortly after, the film just kind of, like, jolts to a complete different place that I was like, I've got to wind back, and wound back too far. But there's a moment when the Juno character, like, says, I think my waters are breaking, and then just like this white goo just fires over everyone, which is a good joke in Scary Movie 2, where a character has got blue balls, so hasn't been able to come for ages, and then like stick someone to the wall. It's crass. It's horrible joke, but it makes logical sense within that film.
Yeah,
In this,
there's a beginning, middle, and end that you can make sense of.
in it, I don't know. I'm no doctor. I'm no midwife or gynecologist. But I don't think that is what happens, or anything close to that, when someone's waters break. I think it is literally.
Well, the joke was, which is why it's such a bad joke, it's when Kim Kardashian gets naked and they're all looking at Kim Kardashian's naked body, and I think the joke is that Juno orgasms looking at her and it makes Juno come, because that's why it looks like sperm and cum, but she's pretending it's her water's breaking.
Oh, that's even worse. That's like
That's worse. But then also that's so like it's that
that's how I took that joke, because then she's still pregnant for the rest of the movie, and it's related to them all going like jaws dropping at like Kim Kardashian's naked body, and so I took it because the boys are like, oh, I'm getting a semi or whatever, and then she's like, oh, I think my water's about to break, and then it's like looks like cum. So I took that as the joke was that it made her come too.
Yeah, that's...
Well, still ain't funny.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Women finding other women attractive, fucking hysterical.
Well, yeah, it's really problematic in the way of like the way, especially the Calvin character, the G-Fang character, in the way that like he's kind of the instigator to some real shady shit in this. One is like he's the one who's like, oh yeah, we need to get naked to conserve like body heat. And then like the camera like lingers on them, and like they're both like popping faces to each other, like thumbs up. Like, yeah, we've duped these dumb bitches into taking off their clothes. And then like when Lisa is killed, he like instantly is like, I'm done with her. And then we get introduced to the enchanted like princess, and that whole the one kind of positive I have for this film is that like for a second that like James Marsden lookalike they have.
Oh yeah,
really convincing for a second, and then they do a close up, and then you go no.
My only positive, Daisy, I'm guessing you probably don't have any positives.
I don't have any thoughts at this point.
My positive, emptiness. Much like we said about Dance Flick, I did feel like the High School Musical dance number was decent. I did feel like they put their money into hiring a decent choreographer, and that little musical sequence was actually like not bad.
It was nice, it was fine, but it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't funny, wasn't relevant whatsoever. But I was like, well done, you hired a semi-competent choreographer. Good. Well done. I can give you props for that. That's it. And it made me miss flip phones, but I don't think that was the film's intention. I just missed flip phones.
Simpler times when we didn't have to look.
Just the power of being like, bye, snap.
Yeah, it's that and an actual like rotary telephone, or just a slam, like fuck you. Yeah, I've had enough. I think I just think this film is deeply. That's the thing. It's not only does it not successfully work as a film, as a comedy, as a spoof of disaster movies, it is like deeply problematic with not only like its kind of humor and its like its messaging is really like muddled, and it kind of like knows what it wants to do, but that thing is toxic, like the kind of the humor in it. And like I think that's the thing. I've just got loads of notes on like how like lowest common denominator the humor is, like when the crystal skull, because that is the MacGuffin of this movie, because it's like what are we going to riff on? We're going to riff on a film that is absolutely fucking turgid and dog shit, and then make that the MacGuffin of our movie because it's in the zeitgeist.
Which I had also completely forgotten about, because they only mentioned it once in the first 5 minutes of the film, and then made us sit through an hour and a half of utter unrelated nonsense, and then brought it back in the last 2 seconds.
Pulled out of a character's vagina, which is like, really? Is that where we're going with? And what, like, continuity's sake as well. People are like injured in this film, and nobody shows any signs of it. And I'm not sure whether that's done for like comic effect or like in this.
No, it's just they filmed everything out of order, and they just give the poor editors. They just throw it at them like, put this in some sequential order.
But it's like, yeah, the is it Amy like gets impaled by like an Egyptian statue? They pull the spear out of her. She stands up and is immediately there is no sign of a wound. Yeah. It's just like it's the thing. I know I shouldn't be picking holes in the logic of this film, but it just
but it reminds me of when you used to play in the playground and you used to like make up stories, and everyone used to just go, "Oh, I'm gonna be Batman," and someone would be like, "I'm gonna be Indiana Jones," and someone else, and they just everyone picks whatever they want, and there's no sense of story. There's no one person deciding the story. Everyone just goes and does their things, and they go, yeah, and then I was saved by this, and there's no actual consequence. There's no running thread because it's just children having playtime and using their imaginations. This is what happens, as you say, if those children turn into adults and then they're never told no. They go into board meetings and go, and then this happened, and then we should get that person because people hate her and laugh at her, and then we should get that person because he's not white, and we should get that person because they're not straight, and it's just crazy. And the worst bit of the film that does that is the party scene, because it's one of those things where I know this style of film where it will have the tiniest crumb of a narrative thread, but then it will go sort of like avenue here but back, avenue off here and back, but it doesn't even do that. It goes path, avenue, bridge over the other side of the water. Like, it'll go off on so many tangents, it ends up winding itself back on itself, and then you're like, what am I watching? Is this a YouTube video that just keeps playing the next thing automatically? Because I don't even know what I'm watching anymore.
There were like multiple adverts, and I was like, adverts funny now?
Yeah, well,
there was an advert, wasn't there? It was the phone advert and stuff,
and then a forehead one as well.
Yeah,
the headache thing.
There's that wrestling sequence in this film between Carmen Electra and Kim Kardashian, and again, like to go back to the DVD special features, there is like a kind of behind the scenes breakdown of that.
Of course, there was.
Even what the people want that is made like in a really sexist manner of just kind of being like, oh, these are the costumes they wear, and they're really skimpy and tight, and like it's kind of like you can tell like the feed questions they got. It's like, oh, like how raunchy was it been with like Carmen Electra and stuff, and like from watching those special features as well, I like my heart breaks for Carmen Electra because like she reveals like a thing where she's like, yeah, I've got this like sense of humor about myself, and like I've been spoofed before, and I've been spoofing myself and stuff like that, and it very much felt like a kind of if you can't beat them, join them attitude, as opposed to like it's kind of like do you know what I mean? It's like it made me feel like somebody was like bullied on the playground of being like, hey, I'm gonna become like wacky and like kind of make a tit of myself, because it's like, if I'm doing it, then like whatever you do, no one else can. And it's like I just kind of in that moment like wanted to be like, you can put on some comfortable clothes, Carmen, and like let's just have a cup of tea and a little chat. Like it feels like Aaron and Josh have done you dirty for too long. Let's just get a regular job, shall we? Let's like leave this movie business behind, because like they're toxic, bad people, and you don't need this.
It's really interesting to hear your side of it, actually, because I think I agree with everything you've said, and you've said it so succinctly, but I just don't have anything left to say about it anymore because we've said it every single time. But it's really, I like to hear it from other people's perspective. I like to hear that's why we do the podcast, and having different kinds of people watch different kinds of things, and it's nice to hear from a man's perspective that's really obvious as well, because obviously I think I was just thinking when we were chatting about something else earlier about the just always pointing fun at the person who is not the quote unquote norm. What all of these audiences going to see them with their mates, like teenagers, adults, 20-year-olds, whatever, big group of mates. You're not all going to be white. There's always going to be someone that's slightly different, and you'd like to think there's more than one person that's not white in a group of friends. But how would those kids and teenagers and people feel when they're out with their mates and they're all laughing at something that's at your expense, and like how much damaging that can be to those people in like those formative years. And these people like who are fully grown adults making money off of this shit that's ruining people who like is adding to the culture of like obviously taking the piss and laughing at women specifically who are having a really hard time, it actually getting them in on the film themselves in the case of Carmen Electra, like you said, and taking the piss out of them, or basically just adding to the hatred and sort of like just nasty humor that's already rife on playgrounds and communities and whatever, and saying this is okay because we're putting it on the big screen, so laugh away, this is what you should, we're telling you this is funny. Because the thing is, there'll be a lot of people that won't think it's funny, and then they're told that it is, and then they go, oh right, okay.
Well, I started thinking about, like, obviously I would have been 17 when this came out, and I haven't always been like a kind of progressive left, like, do you know what I mean, lefty fucking woke snowflake, and like I was a dumb teenage boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, not saying that I was deeply problematic in any way, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, there are things that I would have laughed at back then that I wouldn't laugh at now.
Yeah.
And I like watching this film. I was like going, I even think at that age, like, do you know what I mean? Like 17, I definitely knew better at that point. Like, and it really put it in perspective, like with me, like going, I don't know. I saw a friend of mine like this time last year, or no, not this time last year because we weren't allowed to see friends unless you're in the government. But like it might have been earlier this year. I saw a friend, and like he quoted Bo Selector, and like it just like I got sad because I was like, oh, you're still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like I kind of worry for the people who like watch this now, especially of like I imagine we're like all of a similar age, like kind of like early 30s or whatever. But
Daisy's
like,
still in her 20s. So glare at Daisy.
Late 20s. Let me join the club.
Yeah, but I kind of went for that. I don't want to offend anyone, but like either way, like
no, not offended.
anyone who kind of like watches this film who's of like a similar age and like enjoys it still, I'll be like, you give me the ick. Like, I'm gonna step away right now because like.
Oh, you know they have like a ton of burner accounts with like just to troll the shit out of celebrities.
Well, yeah, it's not even just that. It's just like laughing at the kind of like reveal of like Flavor Flav being in the bed, and then like just as the kind of
I just don't understand it.
the topper on the joke being like, and look, there's a dwarf in the bed, and it's like, isn't that funny? It's like, do you know what I mean? Aren't dwarfs funny? It's like, well, I don't know.
No, they're people.
If they're Warwick Davis in Life Is Short and he's like got a comedy script, then yeah, they're funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it's I don't know.
What's his face from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, if he's cracking wise, Tyrion Lannister's cracking wise, funny.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. But if Peter Dinklage is in Serrano and he's being romantic and heartfelt, then a dwarf is an actor has dwarfism is romantic and heartfelt. So like, just the sight of a dwarf shouldn't be. That feels like it's a problematic thing. The sight of a dwarf is that a problematic thing to say? But like
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, the sight of someone with dwarfism.
But that's the joke. That's why it sounds problematic, Petros, is because
that's what they think
their
is
joke
the joke.
is.
Yeah. They go, like, look at this person who's different to you. Isn't that funny? And it's like,
cue laugh.
That should be the tagline for this film.
Yeah, what is the tagline? I did see the tagline for this film, and it's deeply unfunny.
Your favourite movies are going to be destroyed?
Oh boy.
Funny how they can't even. Yeah, I find that hard to believe, given that you've done it. So actually, probably no one has seen the films that you're parodying yet because you've based it on their trailers.
Well, yeah, like, so do you guys go through the list of films that, like...
I've
We-
got a list of the stuff that they have parodied, if you want me to quickly rattle through.
You
No.
can go for it.
So, no, don't make me relive it. So apparently, I feel like if you wanna jump in on this one, I think it's a good point too. The main plot is a parody of Cloverfield, apparently. It's nothing like this.
There are like, the only similarity is that film starts off at a party.
A party.
And then they have to, like, leave because of a kaiju has, like, attacking New York, basically.
But, like, yeah, it's nothing like it. It's found footage. It literally, as Petros said, it's literally the only similarities. There's awareness of something going wrong at a party. Fine. If you want to call that a parody, then maybe we need to revise the definition of that. Also, we've got Twister, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 10,000 BC.
Sorry, it's a parody. Oh my god, no, ignore. I was like, it's a parody of Twister the board game, but you mean Twister the film, but because they play Twister the board game in the thing, I was like, they weren't fucking parodying it, they were just playing it. Sorry. My brain has melted.
That's amazing. Doesn't my brain do wonderful things sometimes by accident? Like, I actually jealous that your brain made that connection because mine didn't. Anyway, right, well, this is whatever I say is not going to be half as funny now.
Sorry.
American Gladiators, My Super Sweet 16, Juno, Enchanted, High School Musical, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Kung Fu Panda, The Dark Knight, Incredible Hulk, Step Up to the Streets, Iron Man, Hellboy 2, Sex and the City, Hancock, Superbad, Night in the Museum, The Love Guru, Hannah Montana, Beowulf, Speed Racer, Brokeback Mountain, I Am Legend, The Day After Tomorrow, Jumper, No Country for Old Men, Wanted, Chronicles of Narnia, and Get Smart. Also, real life people, Miley Cyrus, Amy Winehouse, Michael Jackson, Flavor Flav, Dr. Phil, Jonas Brothers, Jessica Simpson, Sarah Silverman, Matt Damon, and Justin Timberlake.
I'm exhausted just listening to that, which can explain to anyone who's not seen the film how absolutely exhausting it was to try and watch.
Yeah, like the whole... I always find, like, obviously now, like, Michael Jackson, but even then Michael Jackson kind of, like, being referenced in anything was, like, quite thing. But again, it's real low-hanging fruit, right? It's just that thing where, like... and it's... I don't know. It
doesn't even hanging, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
They've picked up fruit that has fallen off the tree. It's been
rolling around
on.
in the puddies.
Well, like, because obviously in the real life people, it has Sarah Silverman and Matt Damon, and that is a reference to a very niche, like, kind of Jimmy Kimmel sketch that happened like this same year. That unless, like, kind of you do some digging, like watching it in 2021, you would have no idea.
I'm not sure how I knew about it because I was only 14 when this came out. But it must have come up at some point between it happening and now. That song, I've seen it on YouTube. Like,
yeah,
I know what it is.
Petros sent me the link, and I was like, "Oh my god!" The minute I heard it, my brain was like, "Oh, I do know this."
Yeah,
but it was so irrelevant at the time that I must have heard it in that my brain instantly forgot about it. Yeah. And the riff on it in the film is so lame that even the film didn't jog my memory of it. I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought it was over."
Said, they
Why
don't
is this...
do anything with the stuff. They go, right, okay. Here's a list. They basically write that list of things, and then they go, and then let's, like, do the bare minimum of recreating it for a few scenes, too long, and not add anything. It's just like people doing. You like, you know, when you were kids and you, like I said, in playground, you pretend like I said, oh, I really want us to do a copy of High School Musical, like, in the playground. Like, no one wants to pay to see that. It's just us having fun. Like, that's what, no one wants to go to the cinema to see that because they could just go and watch the actual thing.
But apparently people do.
I'd like to interview these people.
I said this on another podcast recently whilst talking about a film plot. Oh, yeah, it was on my podcast talking about 50 Shades Darker. Like, this film feels like it is, like, written like a game of Consequence. You remember that game where it's like, and then this happens, and then somebody jumps on? Yeah. Because, like, again, stuff happens, and, like, it just, I don't know, it is this thing of, And like looking through that list of films as well that it parodies, it's like I kind of go through it and go, oh, what has kind of stood the test of time? And it's like you look at something like Love Guru, which is like, oh, that's a deeply problematic film in its own right, which like some people could argue in its own case is somewhat a parody. Like, do you know what I
We
mean?
may
Like,
be covering it at some point.
oh
It is on the list.
yeah,
It's on the list. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, what a full circle. And
What a
like,
treat to look forward to.
Yeah.
but then obviously, like some of them, it just is a game of proximity, right? Like in regards to when the film came out. So it's like Iron Man is only in this film because Iron Man came out in
And think about the wanted
2008.
thing as well with the bending the bullet. Like that's just why it went on for so long. What, just because people know that trailer because of the bending the bullet thing and they
Daisy,
want to go
guns
see
are
the film?
funny.
Oh right,
Shooting
especially
people
shooting
is
Carmen Electra in the
hilarious.
face.
To a point that was made like ages ago. So I hope you're keeping up, listeners. It's like a show that like does parody really well is People Just Do Nothing, because they
Oh, I love this
clearly
one.
love like the culture that they are aping
Yeah.
and know the kind of intrinsic small details of that culture that like whether you're kind of like you're involved in like kind of garage music or kind of like urban culture for a better term, like you like or not, you will kind of pick up on those things. But I
You'll
knew people,
recognise things.
yeah,
You
I
know
knew
people
people
like
like
that.
that, and
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like that they get it. Whereas these guys, it's clear like The Dark Knight came out a month before this film, so there is no way they could have seen anything from that, and that's why the kind of reference to Batman is not aping anything or taking the piss out of anything that happens in that film. It's just literally going, here's Batman. We're gonna try and do something vaguely funny, and we're gonna make a reference to like I don't know, like him firing his back grappling hook, which is like, well, if anything, it's the 1960s series that's referring to, not the Christopher Nolan dark kind of broody version of the films. It's like take the piss out of that. Like that's the thing. It's like with that, it's like the Batman Begins exists, so take the piss out of like the kind of like I don't know. Yeah, look at the way that they take the piss out of Batman in the Lego Batman or the Lego movie.
Yeah.
And it's like that
right.
thing of just making like super serious and make like they don't. I don't think these guys, like you said, Daisy,
They don't know the source material.
they don't like
It's like, I don't know
films,
if it's.
and they don't. I just don't think they have.
They like
any,
people's money.
yeah.
I think the best example of where they should be and where they're not is Family Guy. And I know a lot of people don't like Family Guy. I am actually still a fan of Family Guy. I still watch it. Family Guy has done some real problematic shit over the years. Family Guy have done some real funny shit over the years. And Family Guy have taken jokes way too far and way too long over the years. But on a base level, Family Guy is usually funny. And on a base level, Family Guy does understand what it's joking about. Batman specifically, they've done so many Batman jokes, which might me think of it. But like Family Guy, whether you like their humour or not, and like how they go about it, they know their source material, and and you can tell that what's his name, Seth MacFarlane, he loves the media, and he does genuinely seem to like a lot of what he's riffing on. Like his show, The Orville. If you are a Star Trek fan and you have not watched The Orville, go and give it a go. It's a complete parody of Star Trek, but it's done really brilliantly.
Yes.
The difference between from love and from complete disinterest or hate. When you were talking, it reminds me of. Do you know what I'm imagining? And It's Always Sunny set up, where Dennis is at the whiteboard and he's like, right. So what do we know about Batman? And Charlie just goes, bat hooks. That is literally the kind of brainstorm I imagine, where these horrid people who know nothing about something want to get advantage and take advantage of other people, and they go, right, how can we do it? We're going to put a load of references in. What do we know about it? Nothing except the stuff that we find funny, which is really offensive. That'll be fine. Boom.
it's a Ponzi scheme of a film, right? It's kind of
It
like
is.
before you know it, your bank account has been bled dry, and you're kind of like penniless,
Oh,
going like, "Oh, what have I got?" But like to your point, like to that point of like Family Guy, something that like is kind of like, on the edge, really up to date with its satire, whether you like it or hate it, is South Park. Which like there's an amazing documentary called 6 Days to Air, which shows like their process of like they will literally like write the episode and be right down to the wire and like know what they're taking the piss out of, and it would be current and it will go. Whereas this film feels like they're just kind of going, it might be like this. Let's just do it anyway. And by the time it comes out, that's the thing. That it is a Ponzi scheme, because it's like by the time it comes out, we would have like fucking got out of town like in our Trans Am, like boot full of money, and like by the time someone comes knocking on our door, they'll be like, those guys, they don't live here anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, they left this as soon as like they wrapped on the film. As soon as the film was like kind of handed over to the studio, like, bye bye.
Yeah.
And yet they managed to release 2 of these films in the same year.
Because they make money. Because they do.
Yeah.
They put all of this. All they do is watch trailers. They don't watch movies. They just watch trailers. So their film is like a giant trailer for a film that never happens. So it makes a really good trailer for you to watch in the cinema. So then people spend their money. Because as we said before, people were never paying to see the movie. People were paying to see what they liked in the trailer. And very few people, even if people hate a film, not many people actually walk out of films, and definitely not many people ask for their money back.
Yeah. As somebody who worked in a cinema, that is very true. And it's it like what I found as a weird like I don't know, curio about this is especially watching the DVD, is it came with trailers and ads on the beginning of the DVD. So very much felt like a time capsule of 2008. So
I love that.
There was a trailer for Eagle, which I'm not sure if you remember, was like a...
Oh, is that like a little animation?
Yeah, like an animated film about Eagle, which I thought, that's a bit weird. And then the other one, like in keeping with this, was for superhero movie, which stars... Is it not one of Drake or Josh, the one who didn't have a glow? Yeah, the one who Drake Bell. Yeah, the one who didn't have a glow up. That's Josh, right? Who? Yeah.
Well, Drake Bell is potentially a paedophile. So
didn't he get arrested for paedophilia or something quite recently?
Oh well, he stars in that, which is like a just a straight up like rip off, like aping. Spider-Man, but he's like, what is it, like something like Hornet Man or something, or Dragonfly Man or something like that. But then like you watch that, and then the trailer, it's got like Leslie Nielsen. That's the thing, they've got no like kind of like, is it like legendary, like, do you know what I mean, like spoof actors? Or, you look at Scary Movie and it's
Matt Lanter was going to be the legendary. Matt Lanter had a whole career ahead of him.
They let him down.
Thank God he had all of that 90210 CW money to fall back on.
Their legacy, like, actor in this is Carmen Electra, which, like, kind of, like, shows you the... Do you know what I mean? Like the caliber of this film. It's
the hilarious thing is that the most famous out of all of them now is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She I'm sure she's probably like buried the fact, if she could. I know.
She spoke about it in 2017 and said that she doesn't like to watch it. That was the last time she spoke about it that I could find.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wikipedia, again. It was cited on Wikipedia, so.
So
go on Wikipedia and find it, because we're not telling you it.
Number 30 in the citations list.
Number 30.
I know that G-Fang said that, like, she was like uncomfortable, or didn't know how to kiss for her kissing scene and stuff like that. Which, again, like, from watching the DVD extras, they do this weird faux, like they didn't get on set, and it's like, it makes me like all of you even less.
A lot less.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you try, like, even when, like, the camera's supposed to be off, you're still on. And it's like, just fucking chill out, guys.
It makes it sound like, which I'm not surprised at, it was a massive boys' club the girls are kind of a bit like, okay, we can take the piss out of ourselves and have fun too. Like, we just have to have tougher skin to deal with it, when they're clearly all uncomfortable. Not all of them, but they're clearly uncomfortable. And like, I don't know how the women feel about like the sexism in it. Like, they're partaking in the film. Like, one of the actresses went ham, like piss taking Amy Winehouse. Like, she's part of the problem. But yeah, just from the sense of maybe the less comedic of the actresses, there clearly was a sense of discomfort there on set of, okay, I kind of just have to go along with this and smile, so that it's,
I mean, isn't that the whole history
experience
of women in Hollywood over the last 40 years?
Yeah, maybe. It's starting to ring a bell. We spoke briefly about sort of like box office and like how this was sort of received, like the reception of it. I don't know if you guys had any reviews. I know, Claire, you mentioned Letterboxd. I don't know if you have any reviews you wanted to share that you particularly enjoyed.
I just looked up, as I said earlier, when it came out. So it came out on the 5th of September 2008 in the UK, and it debuted at number 5. So maybe the UK viewers had a bit of taste. Debuting at number 3 was The Duchess, starring Keira Knightley, which I'd forgotten even existed. At number 2 was Mamma Mia, which is what I was watching at the cinema. And at number 1 was Guy Ritchie's Rock and Roller, which again, never seen. But yeah, they all came in ahead of it. So that's,
it's interesting. I was just looking at the same list, actually. It's interesting that it's number 5, number 7, and number 8, and number 9, Dark Knight, Hellboy 2, and Get Smart, are all cited as being parodied in this exact film.
There you go.
I can confirm that that's obviously, we're talking about week 1 of Disaster Movie. This was week 7 of The Dark Knight, week 3 of Hellboy 2, and week 3 of Get Smart. But that's only in the UK.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're still... My point is that they're all very close together, and that's just how they operate. So,
on to reviews. One of the only... I think there are 2 credited positive reviews ever written officially by, like... proper, as we say in, air quotes, reviewers. And one of them was by Jim Schmimbry from The Age, which is an Australian newspaper or magazine. And he just kind of said, this film contains the funniest Juno spoof yet. A dumb film, to be sure, but also undeniably funny in more spots than a right-thinking, mature adult person feels comfortable admitting. So he's basically saying that if you don't find it funny, you're lying. And Jim, I'm sorry, but I don't know what is. I don't know.
Yeah, he's basically saying, like, if you don't find people who are different funny, that's just
a classic. That's just a classic, like, racist family member going, I was joking. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, and within the review, he's also like, Nicole Partner, who spiced up Meet the Spartans, does so again here with hilarious turns as Amy Winehouse, Jessica Simpson, and the Daffy Princess from Enchanted.
Was he dating her?
So he liked the film. Everyone else really, really hated it.
Great. I just did a big thumbs up.
Do you have any of the hate ones?
Can't see it.
Do you have any of the hated ones, Daisy? Because I can rattle a few off if you don't.
I do.
You go.
I quite. Do you know what I quite like doing when we research these films? Is there's a section on IMDb for critic reviews, specifically for their Metascore, and you can see very, very clearly. I personally also love to do it on Letterboxd. If I've watched a film, I look at the highest rated reviews and the lowest rated reviews. For a laugh, and I can confirm that the highest, so the average is a 15 Metascore, which is bright red, as you can imagine. The highest that it's got is from Entertainment Weekly, had a 58. Owen Gleberman, the movie is merciless, sending up Juno's self-satisfied hipster gobbledygook, and it's quite funny to see Hannah Montana still promoting her tie-in products as she lies crushed and dying under a meteor. Now that's a quote for the review. That's not really a summary of what they're saying, so I think that was probably the most positive of the thing that they did say. However, right at the bottom, we've got a tasty, tasty 0 from LA Weekly. No credited journalist, but it states, this carpet-fouling mongrel of a movie no more deserves release than do anthrax spores.
Oh God. See,
now you could say that that's ruthless, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't agree.
Other one I liked was from a Michael Compton from the Bowling Green Daily News, which sounds like a nice place.
A regular read of mine.
Yeah. He said, nothing more than a 90-minute barrage of unfunny jokes without the hindrance of a pesky plot or character development to get in the way. And that is the top kind of review on Rotten Tomatoes. And it deserves to be there because that is the most accurate summation of this film.
There's some really, really funny ones as well, actually. And the point of this podcast, right, which we've always said, is not to trash films that have been trashed already. We're genuinely looking at these films going, are they really that bad? Like, why are they made? How has this happened? But I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to not laugh at this from the Boston Globe. Quote, the filmmakers are idiots.
Well, seeing as this is the bottom 100 of IMDb, I've looked for a review on IMDb that gives this a 10 out of 10. And this is
Wonderful.
from Filmbuff 0409. And it says...
Aaron Spielberg.
And it says, don't listen to the bad reviews. The only people writing them are people this movie is not targeted for. Those wanting some serious movie with a firm plot need to get lost, because that's obviously not what this is. Like, really? If you don't like spoof movies, then just don't watch them. Common sense, huh? I thought this was pretty funny. Leave your brain at the doorstep and go into this to just have fun. Unless you're a prude just wanting something to hate.
So I wonder if that gentleman has then moved over and got themselves a Letterboxd account, because it reminds me of my favourite Letterboxd review, which is 5 stars from Japith, which we speak about this a lot. We do wonder if these are just like high quality trolling.
Mm-hmm.
This person is a patron of Letterboxd, so clearly they must enjoy films. A glowing review for this gem is way overdue on this site or on the entire internet. A movie so severely misunderstood upon its release and still doesn't have the love it deserves. It makes me sick to think that this is often called the worst movie ever, yet pretentious bullshit like Taxi Driver and Mulholland Drive are considered fine art. What sheep? And then it goes on for another 7 paragraphs.
What? Yeah, I had another one here that, like, I'm not going to read out because it's clearly, like, somebody somebody who wants to go viral has been like, hey, it's the guy who does really witty, like, good reviews for bad movies. Like that, there's that Letterboxd reviewer who's like, I'm going to review films all in lowercase with no punctuation. Whoa! And I've got millions of followers.
What I will say, I just quickly looked at that review that I just read out, and they have lots of comments, and it's all about people like oh, troll, ha ha ha. But one person has, and I appreciate the comment, I like how this troll is funnier than all of Freeberg and Seltzer's movies combined. No, to be fair, not wrong.
We have actually got a really good bit of news, Claire, though. This film officially is rated worse on Rotten Tomatoes than the Flintstones.
I know, finally!
We finally got one!
Thank God! It's
1%. Wonderful.
Well, it's the audience score that's the issue normally. It's not the critic score, it's the audience score.
Of course, sorry. Yeah,
but it is still lower.
21%.
It is still lower.
Oh, that.
But it's barely lower. Barely
lower.
lower. I think the Flintstones is 24 or 28.
That's 21.
I have to look it up.
This is 21. That's low, right? I don't know. Like, people are idiots, though, right? Like, a lot of people, like, I don't know. Yeah.
No, we come to that conclusion, Petros, because Claire
the Flintstones is only 3% higher according to audiences.
It's our baseline now. Our very first episode was Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, and we were comparing the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and now it's a running thing because, as you say, people are idiots, and most of the films that we are watching are worse rated, end up having a higher audience Rotten Tomatoes score than the Flintstones 1994.
I've been upfront. I know not everyone loves the Flintstones like I love the Flintstones. I'm totally fine with that.
Decent made film.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a comparison here.
No. These are different leagues we're talking about, different leagues.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, I'm fine. Even if we could get the Flintstones to a 50%, I could cope. Like,
Okay.
why is it almost the same score as Disaster Movie? It's very upsetting. Upsetting.
Yeah, but we have our win.
Yep. So one last Letterboxd review comes from just a simple guy called Tom, and gave the film half a star. His simple comment is, if Comic Sans was a film.
Can't argue with that, really.
But that besmirches Comic Sans. I remember
Comic
this
Sans,
thing.
yeah.
It does, and I remember.
In defence of Comic Sans.
Well, Never in my life thought I'd agree with that, but
I remember slagging off Comic Sans, and somebody like turned around to me and like, "Oh, it's really good for like I think it's people with like ADHD or."
It's really good for people with dyslexia as well. It's all
dyslexia.
about the way that A's are written.
An absolute dick.
Yeah.
No.
Did I actually say, "Oh, they look like they would use comics"?
Oh, Daisy!
But I mean it like mums that post Minion memes on Facebook. That's what
really
I mean.
good. It's all, so if you're ever looking for a font that's the most accessible and readable, you have to look at the A, and if it has the little extra thing on the top, it's really difficult for people with dyslexia and visual impairments to read because there's extra lines. Yeah, so it needs to just be without the little like hat.
I like my A's with a hat. Anyway, it wouldn't be an episode of W Rated if our film that we're talking about wasn't nominated for Razzies. So, Disaster Movie got... I was going to call it Disaster Film then. I was like, I'm adding a bit of thematic value to it.
Anglicised it.
Yeah. If Martin Scorsese directed this, it would be called Disaster Film. It had 6 nominations for the Razzies. It got nominated for Worst Director, alongside, but also for Meet the Spartans, it was Friedberg and Seltzer. And then it got also nominated for Worst Picture, again, alongside Meet the Spartans. Love Guru won that one. Again, nominated for Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff or Sequel, losing to Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Worst Screenplay, nominated, lost to Love Guru. Carmen Electra and Kim Kardashian West, nominated but lost to Paris Hilton for Repo, the Genetic Opera, which I've never seen, but every time I see the trailer for it on my Saw DVD, I'm like, I need to watch this. What is this? It looks crazy. I don't know if anyone else has seen the trailer.
I've never seen it, but I do like a musical.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like if Saw was a musical.
Anyway,
I digress. So yeah, I think we can kind of summarise that we didn't like this film. However, would we like to summarise with a star rating? Would anyone like to go first? I know what mine is.
Yeah, so I will give it a star, 1 star, just 1. And I'm in a bit of an odd place because we often also say, do we think it deserves to be on the list? And I 100% yes, that this is a list that this film belongs in. But I don't know if I believe it deserves to be number 1.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Because it happens, and I didn't enjoy it, but it's still like fine.
But I think that's a subliminal, because I've liked it less as we've spoken. Then I didn't find it as bad when we were watching it, and I think it is because I was like, I've seen so many films that are more offensive, but it's the subliminal offensiveness that you kind of, there's so much of it that you just forget that's it just becomes lived in, and then also, as we've quite rightly said, they forgot to write a plot. It doesn't really ever. It's not a film. I'm also thinking maybe my 1 star is too high, and maybe I need to go half a star. So yeah, I'm a bit confused on my take on this one.
This is why we do these things, to confuse ourselves even more about how to rate these things, because it's like enjoyment versus technicality. I'm straight up half a star because it doesn't have a plot, and whatever it sets out to do is purely hatred and vicious and lazy and etc. But I also do agree with you that I definitely don't think this is probably the worst film ever made, in terms of technicality of it.
Except they forgot to make it a film.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's still, I think in our age where we like sort of consume so much content, it feels more at home with like TikToks and how you consume that sort of content. Like we said, it's a meme, it's an extended meme, it's a Vine compilation, just not funny. So it's like, okay, it works on some levels, just not this level. So I definitely think there's worse made films. The main reason I don't think it should be number one is because I think it's pretty much just as bad as all the other parodies we've done so far. So why this one specifically, I don't know. What about you, Petros?
Well, I always find, like, because obviously this is like the bottom rated would be off of like user ratings on IMDb, right? So
yeah, and they have to have had a certain amount of views as well.
So I think there is an element of like, when was IMDb at its most popular? And I imagine 2008 would have been its most popular. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, there are far worse films made by far more repugnant people out there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there are filmmakers like Yui Bowl, who I imagine crops up on this list, this bottom 100 maybe
a lot,
once, or a few times.
He actually won the worst director for the year that they were nominated for.
I also think there is an element of accessibility, because this film, of all of the films on the list, would be one that most people would seen, because it would have been at all megaplexes. It's always on Amazon. It's always really available. These parody films make money and they get seen by a lot of people, and they were heavily promoted when they were released in the cinema. So I think it's probably even just a sheer numbers game.
It's like exposure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, like looking at Nicolas Cage, like The Wicker Man features on the bottom 100 list, and it's by far not one of the worst Nicolas Cage films. But I think that is a film that, like, maybe wrongfully, like, it's just that is a film that is fun to hate. Do you know what I mean? Like, people go, like, do you know what I mean? Like, they kind of get swept up in that whole thing of like, Nick Cage is a meme. Like, it's fun to go like, oh, it's fucking shit. Like, but like, there's far worse, like, less competently made films than that one.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I don't know. I think, this film, if you kind of break it down to its core elements, acting, kind of production design, direction, like lighting, like all of the kind of like key heads of department, what failed on kind of all marks, really. It looks shit. The messaging shit. The kind of like the plotting shit. The script is shit. The direction shit. The acting is shit.
What's left?
The dance numbers. The dance numbers weren't shit. They weren't great, but they weren't shit.
Like...
that's the thing. It like they did a passable take on the like Sweet 16 title sequence. Do you know what I mean? Like, so someone in the graphic the graphic design department,
little shout out.
Did a real bang up job. But like, I in my heart of hearts can't give this anything more than, like, I don't do half stars just because it's like, I don't know, like, for me it's a coward's game. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like have conviction, but like, I can't give this more than a 1. But like, this is a very low 1. Do you know what I mean? This is like
almost like it's a 0.5.
Yeah.
But like, but it's almost
conviction
like,
now.
No, it's more the fact that it's close to a 0. Like, in the fact of like this, there's nothing enriching about this. Like, even like a film like The Room, it is like incompetently made, but there is a lot of fucking. There's a lot of enjoyment in that. Do you know what I mean?
You've hit the nail on the head, because for me, it's interesting, and we had this debate a little bit about Human Centipede 2, where I basically had a higher rating back in the day of it, because I think as a film made, like, in terms of the craft, I really respected it. Didn't like the subject matter, had problems with it, blah blah blah. With this, it's not incompetently made in comparison to some other films I've seen. Like, I would say in some ways The Room is a lot more incompetently made, but also it's just pure laziness more than anything. For me, it's the fact that they could have done better. They could have majorly done better if they'd tried. And it's more just the lack of, and as I said at the top of the episode, like, it's the lack of like connection I had to any of it, and I had no enjoyment. I have been watching Hallmark / Netflix Christmas films since the start of December, and I've unashamedly given them high star ratings because I've gone in wanting exactly that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've had really low expectations, and they've not been greatly made films. Some of them I'm like, was that dubbed? That doesn't look like the words were matching their mouth, and all of this shit. But I had fun. I had fun with it. So I enjoyed the actual film. This, sure, you've shot it on camera, and you've kept it steady, and you've cut things, like you've made a film. Sure, that's a film. Full stop. Fine. But any connection and emotion and entertainment is completely void, which makes it worse than something like The Room, which has got something there to connect with. So
Yeah, well, it's that thing, like it's like a great like
it's got no
analogy.
soul.
Yeah, it's like in music, it's sometimes better to watch somebody who can play three chords and kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like just thrash their way through a song, and it's kind of, it's exciting. It might not be the thing you're into. It's like a kind of like thrashy punk band. And it's like, well, at least they've got conviction at what they're doing. Whereas this is like paint by numbers and kind of like what's going to get the most bums on seats. And it's very clinical and like, as we've kind of said throughout this, these guys don't actually have a passion for filmmaking. No. They just have this passion for like, do you know what I mean, the Benjamins.
Taking the piss out of things.
Yeah, and like being like, oh, us two find this funny. Fuck the rest of the world.
Oh my god, and they turned banter into a film career.
Locker room talk into a film.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the personification of, well, it's not personification because I'm personifying people. The kind of person that laughs at people enjoying things. Mm-hmm. This is a film version of laughing at people who enjoy things, saying, you like Hannah Montana, we're going to take the piss out of her. I like Hannah Montana. If you made a funny joke, I would have laughed my head off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even down to the fact it's like, you're a man, you like to sleep with other men. We're going to take a piss out of you. And it's like, well, that is a perfectly valid way to live your life, guys. Like, leave.
Yeah, who hurt you?
Alone.
Half the time, it's just you're a woman. Full stop.
Yeah. Yeah, like to go back to it, there is a bit in this film where, like, I think the reception is bad on a phone, and the lead character goes from being like, "I love you," to you inconsiderate bitch in like no time whatsoever, which is like, that just feels venomous. Oh, I've had a bottle of prosecco, guys, and my words aren't coming out the way that they should do.
So I think it's fair to say we're not saving this from the bottom 100. We are effectively burning this. We don't recommend anyone see it.
No, Petros should burn his DVD.
Yeah.
If I wasn't
better use of it.
If I wasn't so much of an eco warrior and worried about the burning plastics,
don't burn it. It's like the Bo Burnham song. He's like, should I burn it? No. Should I burn it? No. Okay, guys, should we talk about some films that we actually do like? Because that's always nice and fun at the end. So, disaster movie. We talked about at the top of the episode about disaster films and their tropes. So let's do it. Let's talk about our top 3. Petros, as our guest, would you like to go first and hit us with your top 3? They don't have to be in any order, but your favourite disaster films.
Yeah, so I guess number 3 would be Volcano, which is the Tommy Lee Jones starring like volcano picture that came out at the same time as Dante's Peak, which starred
That's
Pierce
what I was
Brosnan.
thinking when you said earlier about the doubles.
Yeah, and it's this thing of like, I haven't seen it in years, but it always sticks in my memory of just being there. Like, there's certain scenes in it because I think it's like a lake in the middle of LA or something like that, or this town just becomes volcanic all of a sudden, and it's just like absolutely fucking mental. And like, I love it. There's something about it, and it's the thing. Like, I don't know. I felt like I should have a Nick Cage film in this, but the only like disaster movies he has is Knowing and Left Behind, which
I've just spent 3 hours editing our Left Behind episode today.
And neither of those cut the mustard. So number 2, so I really thought about this, and I think this one, like, this one, like, I absolutely love. I've done an episode of it on my podcast, but like, which made me love it even more, just like kind of talking it out, is Armageddon.
I have never seen Armageddon, and I
Oh,
feel like as a teen girl, I missed out on crying about Ben Affleck. I feel like I missed like a cultural moment. Oh, the Aerosmith song, I know that
But
bitch
it
off by
doesn't
heart.
hit as hard if you haven't seen the film.
I promise, I will watch it.
So I own 3 copies of that film. Like one of them
Wonderful.
being a French Criterion DVD copy of the film.
Wow, French Criterion.
Yeah. So really Criterion.
Ah, cinema.
Yeah, le cinema. Yeah, and as jingoistic and like kind of flag waving as that film is, and it's something like. It's that one of those films that, despite yourself, your every ounce of your being is going like, I shouldn't be emotionally invested. Like, I can see what the filmmaker is doing. It's Michael Bay. Like, he's really like waving that American flag. But like, when certain beats happen in it, you're like, I fucking just care about this like group of people and like their mission to save the world. And I care about Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, and Bruce Willis. Like, and you just can't. There's something about, there's a character in it who's played by Bill Paxton, who like as like a father of a young child, like his character is going up to space to do this mission. And like he's estranged from his son. I'm not estranged from my son in any way, but like it's this thing of like having a ex-partner and a son with them, and he gives his son a rocket just as like a little gift out of nowhere, and like his ex-partner sees the mission, because obviously it's all top secret, sees it on the TV, and there's like that moment as well. It's like, I don't know. I kind of loved it as a kid. I loved it like growing up, but like now, kind of being in a semi situation that is similar to one of the characters. There's like extra layers and stuff like that. Like just like being a dad as well. There's a big like father daughter thing in it, and there's like, oh my god. Yeah, I like.
Oh no, I was literally tweeting yesterday that I can't take any more like sad father-daughter films, and now you guys want to make me watch Armageddon, for heaven's sakes.
I'm sending you one of my copies, Claire. It's in the post to Ireland as we speak.
I would like the French cinema one, please.
Le Criterion. Le French. Yeah, and I guess number one, I guess this gets in on a technical. Well, no, it is a disaster movie. It's really new, but it's definitely a disaster movie, and it's the Mitchells versus the Machines, because
amazing. I toyed with whether or not I would class that as a disaster movie. I really talked myself back and forth on that one.
I think it definitely hits the tropes of it, right? It is this kind of thing like, one, they're trying to get from point A to point B. There is like the thing that stops them from getting to that and sends them on a totally new mission is this disaster, and then that mission becomes from point A to point B to kind of induct this kill code, and it's just, again, it's this thing. I think the thing at most of these disaster movies that work is family, and the kind of like the impact, and it's something that this film didn't have. Like, disaster movie didn't have any balls to kind of,
the fact that there wasn't even a family in it.
Yeah.
It was baseline 20-somethings. Like, no disaster movie is about baseline 20-somethings.
Well, that's why that's what the whole target market thing is all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we know who we're targeting to. They won't care about family. It's just like, well, actually, I think, like Petros, you said, you're expecting the worst of your audience. Actually, you know,
well, everyone's from a family.
Care about their family, yeah.
Like, everyone is somebody's child. So, like, you will remember being a kid, or, like, you might be a parent yourself. And if you're watching disaster movie as a parent and kind of going, oh, this is my jam, you really need to rethink the fact. Like, they're the kind of people you're like, should you have unsheathed? Like, sorry, that's horrible wording.
Can't believe that we were talking about The Mitchells versus the Machines, one of the most endearing, heartfelt, wonderful films that literally makes me cry like no other film has, and you've managed to somehow turn it into unsheathing.
Sorry, I do apologise. Let's get back to The Mitchells and the Machines, and like it's just beautiful. Like, there's so much to enjoy about that, and it feels like a film as well that is made by people that like enjoy the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, there's little nuggets in that in that film. Like, there's really quick bursts of Los Campesinos songs, which like I guess I don't like for listeners out there who aren't fans of early to mid 2000s like indie punk, like probably have no knowledge of who they are. But like, I think it's when the title sequence comes up, it's just like this jingly punk rock pop, ding, 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 and like kind of thing. It's like, for fans like me, it's like, oh, fucking Mike Rianda loves the same stuff I do. I'm invested in this film, and like the way the film plays out, and it's just like, I think Sony Animation, like, as much as people go on about like Disney, Pixar, and all stuff like that, have really torn up the rule book and kind of shown us like, or like, you guys have kind of been resting on your laurels for a bit, because
it's very much Lord and Miller at Sony Pictures as well, like Sony Animation. Lord and Miller, who like executive produced that film, it has their fingerprints and what they love about film and what makes their stories so heartfelt. And I got to go to a wonderful Q&A with them. I got to go and see the film, and they were at Q&A afterwards. And it was part of the Empire Film Podcast, an interview by Chris Hewitt. So if you haven't listened to that, really, really do recommend it, because they talk about all of those tiny touches and tiny details, and about how much they love what they do. And it's so lovely to have a pair of friends who mock films and parody films and homage films.
Be
rather
more
than
Lord and Miller.
Yeah, be more Lord and Miller. Less Salzberg and whatever it is. Friedberg?
Can't
more
remember
Lord and
his
Miller.
name.
Friedberg
not
and
worth
Seltzer.
remembering.
Yeah.
Lord and Miller.
Yeah, they I don't know. Yeah, they feel like they're kind of what they've done with like Spider-Verse and that. Like, they're really like carving themselves out to be like a kind of like modern day Spielbergs in a way, of like anything they touch kind of seems to have this like stamp of like, well, you've got my fucking money, guys, twice over. Like, yeah,
100%.
I think I don't know if that, like, people listening going, that's not a disaster movie. It fucking is, guys.
The world's going to end in a disaster, so
I really talked myself round in circles on that one. It's on my long list, and I got myself
particular with your top.
I am. I get a bit funny about what my definitions of a genre is, because I also, and I don't disagree, it is one, but Titanic. If you asked me what a disaster movie was, I would never, ever say Titanic.
Oh, hold on, I need to revise my top 3.
It appears on every single list of disaster movies, and I was like, oh, I guess it is a disaster movie. It ticks every trope, but my brain would never, ever tell me that Titanic is a disaster movie.
Oh no, I'll have to go back to the drawing board.
No, Titanic is one. Because it's...
No, that's what I'm saying, though.
She wants to add it in.
Consider it. I want it in there.
Oh. Well, why don't I do my top 3, because you got to go first last time.
Yeah,
so I'll go this time. So mine, I am not a fan of the disaster movie as a genre. I'm not a fan, it's just not one that I ever really flock to. But I found it a little bit easier than I thought I would. Mine are in no particular order. But I'm going to go with an utter classic of the genre, Sharknado.
Oh, yeah.
What is not to love about that whole film? It's an absolute joy. That is a good parody of the disaster genre. It's not even trying to be a parody, it's trying to be a serious movie. But there is silliness, there's heart, the people are taking it seriously. Actually, the first one is genuinely a decent film. And you know, it's sharks raining out of the sky and people chainsawing themselves out of sharks' stomachs. So I am here for Sharknado every day. Apart from, I think it's Sharknado 4. Sharknado 4 is a piece of shit. The rest of them are great.
Doesn't Common Electra turn up in one of the Sharknado films?
Yeah, I think so.
Either 3 or 5, I think. A lot of people turn up in them.
A lot of sharks too.
A lot of sharks. But the first one, genuinely, as just an A to B journey of a man who is separated from his family and wants to be with his kids and save the day. The first one is a classic of the genre, just made really cheaply. My second one is very different. This Is the End. Because love a comedy, love something that riffs, just it's hilarious. It's utterly hilarious. There is some dodge humour in it, obviously, because it's one of those kind of films, but it's so funny, and the ad-libbing and the whole chemistry between the group is just outstanding. And it does get what I imagine being an apocalyptic disaster would actually feel like. I do feel like it nails that.
Because everyone would just be totally useless. None of this hero saving the day. We would all be like panicking and being like, what the fuck?
But as coronavirus has taught me, I would just lock myself in a room and stay the fuck home. So and then my last one, I'm going to go for one that actually fits it, which is War of the Worlds, but the Tom Cruise version. I actually just really like that film. As someone who doesn't really go for disaster movies and doesn't really go for sci-fi movies, I actually have a real soft spot for that film. I think it's really well done. I think, again, it captures everything that's good about the genre. The grumpy dad who somehow seems to be made of steel because no matter what they get into, he keeps going. The annoying children who he doesn't have a good relationship with, but this torture brings them together and mends animosity. And you know, they've got the MacGuffin, like I can't remember where they have to go for whatever reason they have to get there, but they do. And I actually used to teach it as part of my sci-fi unit when I was a teacher, and that again made me really appreciate it because I could see like just how much care and the attention had been put into it. So I love that one.
I haven't seen that one actually. I should watch it.
It's nice.
Broadening my horizons in the disaster genre. I actually really struggled at first with this, and now that we've spoken about it, I've actually got too many. So I just wanted to do some shout outs which wouldn't have made it to the top 3, but we've mentioned Titanic. What, like someone tweeted the other day about, if you want to understand how pacing changes a film, like watch that, because this film that we've just watched, how long did you say it was? 72 minutes, 82 minutes?
God, it
felt 3 times as long as Titanic, which is 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Boom. Perfect disaster romance story. I also wanted to do a little honourable mention to Dante's Peak because we watched that in geography like every year. When the teacher gave up, all I remember is Pierce Brosnan, the grandma dying in the sulfuric lake, and a squirrel. That's all I remember.
We never watched the whole film. We never got to see it from start to end.
I don't think I did either, which probably makes sense why I can't actually remember what happens in it. So maybe I need to revisit that. And all of a sudden, I don't know if it's because we were talking about Lord and Miller, and I don't know if this is them. I think it is. It just reminds me of them. But does Cloudy and the Chance of Meatballs count as a disaster?
Again, I talked myself around in circles about that one because that is one of my favourite all-time movies.
Yeah. Falling from the sky. I was like, food falling from the sky.
Yeah, it definitely. That's what that film is riffing on, right? Is that idea of the disaster movie?
I'm so sad that you have
so long. I need to.
You have both taken 2 of my all-time favourite movies in your list, and I didn't.
No. That was just a mention because I haven't seen it enough for it to be.
Oh, I love it. I rewatched it this year.
With me, right? I tend to not end up rewatching films that much because I try and keep up with everything. So when we talk about these lists, I always think, I can't really say that's my favourite because I don't feel like I've seen it enough. So I kind of try and go with things that I have an emotional connection to. So my top 3, I'll go from sort of bottom to top. Petros has already mentioned Armageddon. Like, it's just like a slice of like 90s Hollywood that is like forever part of my love of film and entertainment and magic, particularly because of the Armageddon ride in Disneyland Paris as well, because I watched it way too young because my dad probably showed me, and then like I probably didn't care, and I heard the song, and like I didn't know, but then I went on the ride and I was like freaked out, and then I watched the film again, and there's just this actual visceral connection. And obviously the song is like one of the best things that I've ever blessed my ears. So you know, Petra's covered all of the actual good things about the film. I've just shared all of my random connections to it. My second one that I wanted to mention was 2012. Now, 2012 is a funny one because I haven't watched it in so long, but I remember that cinema trip, and I never remember cinema trips. Everyone goes, yes, I saw this film on a Tuesday. It was rather windy. And I don't know. I don't remember watching shit, okay? But I remember going to see this with my dad because of my number one, which I'll mention in a second. Because I loved my number one, redacted, will be revealed. He took me to see 2012, and I don't remember half of it, but I remember having a jolly good time. But it was the whole Mayan calendar thing. It was all the big thing at the time. That's how tapping into the zeitgeist works well. I think you pick one thing that people are talking about, and it's got this mystery around it, and it's like baked in this. You were saying, just like it's baked in these real world fears, and it was the kind of eco crisis tied in with this end of the world thing that is built in history. And it was just really fun, and it was gorgeous, and Roland Emmerich did a fantastic job, like as he does being a disaster movie director. Which leads me on to my number one, which is The Day After Tomorrow.
I knew it was going to be
which is one of my favorite films just ever. Sorry to mention him, but young Jake Gyllenhaal. Sorry, Claire, I know we don't like Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. It's just when Red came out, it just made me sad about him again. But it was just one day. It's fine. And we also on the 13th of December, we also all hate Jake Gyllenhaal. But every other day of the year, he's
glad I got the memo. Or Day After Tomorrow, young Jake Gyllenhaal trapped in a library with a tsunami wave coming down a street in New York. That's just plastered in my mind. It just pops up every now and then. Like, I can just see it, and I used to feel so scared. Like, I was so scared of that film that at one point we had a leak in my house. Like, was that out at the time? All I know is I connect these memories together. So one thing might have happened before the other. But I was so scared of flooding. So either I was already scared of flooding and then I watched that film, or that film made me scared of flooding. But then also you've got Dennis Quaid, who I love, from Parent Trap. Like, this is one of those films that...
Dennis Quaid is actually a bit of a bad guy.
Oh,
sorry.
It's all of them, isn't it? All of them.
It is all of them.
Can't like anyone.
No.
Oh, anyway.
You can like Jake Gyllenhaal. He just broke Taylor Swift's heart.
Yeah, he didn't go to her 21st birthday party, which is why on her birthday we all just glare at him.
Well, anyway, what I was gonna say is that I feel like this is an example of a film where I remember sort of connecting me just watching films as a kid, like Parent Trap. These things, and then recognizing actors in films that were more adult that I go, oh, actually I really enjoy this, and I'm watching it with my dad and we have a really good time, and then we go and see, and it's sort of, as I'm looking back, I'm seeing the sort of growth of my love for cinema generally. So I'll always love that. I haven't watched it in so long, but the poster, the front of the DVD, I can see so clearly. The beginning where it's like massive hailstones like falling down in Japan and all sorts. Like, it's just, I think it's the epitome of what a disaster film should be, which is pure fear.
And I've never seen any of those movies because I think I genuinely am a little bit scared. I think that's why I like Sharknado, because there will never be a Sharknado.
Let's not say that on this podcast, please, because we know what happens.
But yeah, like, I remember Day After Tomorrow and coming out in the cinemas, and I was like, nope, not ever watching that. I don't need that in my life because I know I would die.
It's got that really iconic like DVD cover as well, right?
Yeah.
That kind of the Statue
silvery
of Liberty.
grey.
Yeah, with the Statue of Liberty's hand kind of like.
I can just see it so perfectly.
Yeah.
I remember that one. 2 Roland Emmerichs as well. Wow, that's
I know.
That shows him to be the master.
I'm such a film bro, aren't I? This is
that's why we love you.
He's just the master of the disaster movie, like
master of the disaster.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Independence Day.
Oh.
I have a grudge against Independence Day because I watched it once when I was trying to stay up for an eBay bid and I fell asleep and I missed the eBay bid, and so I refused to ever finish it.
I love how the mind works. I love
It's just
how
it's been
that
over
is why
10
you
years,
don't
but
like it.
I just have a real grudge against it because I fell asleep. So well, clearly it wasn't very good because I fell asleep and then I missed my eBay bid. So
Oh
now
my
I refuse to ever
God.
watch it.
Amazing. So that about wraps it up for our disaster movie episode. Obviously, we always want to hear all of your thoughts, all listeners and followers on social. Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it now after this episode absolutely ripping it to pieces? Who knows? Let us know what you think, if it deserves a place on the bottom 100 at the number one spot. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WRatedPod and on Letterboxd at WRated. Petros, do you want to tell us a little bit more about where we can find you and if there's anything you want to shout about that's coming up for you?
Yeah, you can find me on every single social media platform. So that is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Letterboxd, all at Caged In Pod. Where, like, currently, yeah, we've talked about the Nick Cage aspect of my podcast, but now it has taken a weird left turn. Not that weird, really, when you think about it, but, like, I look at the films of Nicolas Cage's wider family and their place in Hollywood history to answer the question, are they the greatest film family of all time? So that is the wider Coppola family. And yeah, you can just find me on there just talking about all types. Find me on Twitter mostly, talk about all types of random stuff, and like Claire, trying to avoid hot button topics, but still diving in 2 feet first, going, fuck you guys, a lot of the
The
time.
discourse has a hold on us.
Yeah. Yeah, just follow the podcast. Listen to it. There's a lot of films that you'll probably have seen. There's some you haven't have seen, but I don't know, if you like what I do, come check it out. And it's
Yes.
it's a lot of fun. I think it's fun, and there's there's all types of weird and wonderful films and great stuff going on, and some guests. Like, yeah, we talked in a kind of off mic about, like, I often pinch myself at the people I've spoken to. So I don't know. I spoke to Nick Cage's stand-in for like 11 years on my podcast for 2 hours, all about his experience from working with him from 1994 to 2005, which for many would be the golden age of Nicolas Cage. So if you want chats like that and just kind of weird deep dives into Nicolas Cage, come over and have a laugh.
Yes, do it. Please go and listen. Claire, where can we find you on the old socials?
As always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Claire Ellen Hope, where who knows what I'll be doing.
And you can find me at Daisy Vic Edwards on Twitter and Daisy Victoria Edwards on Instagram and Letterboxd. Thank you so much, Petros, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we just want to thank everyone else for tuning in, as always. If you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please do give us a follow or a subscribe. And if you're feeling particularly generous, maybe a rating or a review. We hope you can join us for the next episode where we take on the next worst rated film. See you then.